Rec, rec, rec League podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Podbean, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Good Pods, Pocket Casts, Breaker, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok until Sunday, and Threads at Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 152 coming soon. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, or YouTube itself. What up, world? I just watched Wolfman. It's the reboot of the classic 1941 Universal Monsters movie, which was remade in 2010 by Joe Johnston, starring Benicio del Toro. This one stars Christopher Abbott, Julia Garner, Matilda Firth, Sam Yeager. It is directed by Leigh Whannell. He was the private investigator dude that was also in The Cellar with Carrie Elwes in Saw. But he has directed an Insidious movie, Upgrade, The Invisible Man from 2020. Solid resume. As I said, reboot, not remake. So there's no Talbots. There is a guy who his estranged relationship with his father leads to him having to go straighten up some farmland, cross-country road trip. And as soon as he gets to, it's in Oregon. I'm pretty sure he goes from New York to Oregon with his wife and kid. There is an attack. There is a wound. And then there is a transformation. So, as you can see, this was one of my honorable mentions. I was looking forward to this movie last year. I was looking forward to this movie when I heard Ryan Gosling was going to be the lead. I would have loved to have seen what Ryan Gosling was going to do in this role. But Christopher Abbott is very good in this role. His name is Blake. Like, there's no Lawrence. There's no Talbot. Like I said, this is just like Leigh Whannell did with The Invisible Man. The Invisible Man had nothing, basically no correlation, except for a character you couldn't see with the original Universal Monster movie. This is Leigh Whannell making his own vision, and I feel like it's going to be heavily divisive. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the seclusion. There's a lot of seclusion. This movie takes place over the course of one night. I loved the immediate sense of tension. Even we get a little prelude to see the father-son relationship, and it's understandable as to how Christopher Abbott's character is estranged from his dad. So, but that in turn leads to a father-daughter relationship that I thought was really great. There is an emotional center of this movie that I think a lot of people are going to overlook. And I don't know if workaholic is the term, but the Julia Garner character, that's my bad. The Julia Garner character focuses on work while he is kind of like Mr. Mom. But things transpire and she has to be the protector. You've seen the trailer. And it's like there's a lot of, I liked everything about this movie except the character design of said Wolfman. He doesn't just full on like canine furry as Claude Rains or Benicio del Toro did. I'm not like, I think I'm gonna be in the popular opinion as far as the look is kind of trash. They, instead of like, I think Leigh Whannell wants to be a contrarian as far as how he executes his modernizations of these Universal monsters. It worked very well for Invisible Man. It works for Wolfman. It's just the final look of the Wolfman is more Bigfoot, Sasquatch than wolf. That's it. But there are some gnarly transformation scenes, like when the jaw grows, when the nails change. It's just the zombie, like it's a zombified. It's like an infection, and there's also some cool like POV transitions and like distortion that works really well. There's so much of this movie that works really well. It's just I'm sorry, like I just have one glaring issue that makes me not love this movie. The acting is great. There's not a plot twist, but there is something that I saw coming off jump. I saw and it's kind of glossed over too. There's a subtle reveal that I'm sure people will catch, but I think the writing and the movie maybe should have like made it a bigger point of impact. But at the time it's revealed too, it's kind of too late for an emotional reaction. So it's just, there are some things dramatically that this movie could have hit way harder on, and they missed. And there's just, and again, like I got a million fucking things in my head at the same time. Universal, and I've said this before, I don't know in how many different videos. When The Mummy failed in 2017, Universal took a step back. They looked at what Marvel was doing. They looked at what DC was attempting to do and failing, and just said, like, we can do this dark universe, but we don't have to interconnect everything. We don't need Elizabeth Moss in a movie with Christopher Abbott. We don't need Elizabeth Moss in a movie with Nicholas Hoult-Renfield, with Melissa Barrera surviving Abigail. I don't know the little girl's name in Abigail, but like, we don't need a multiverse of Universal monsters. These one-offs are great. I am insanely excited for The Mummy next April. But it's like, this was a most anticipated movie. I think this was a most anticipated movie last year. I'll have to double check my records. But it just did so many things right, and to me didn't fully stick the landing. So I'm kind of let down, but I do recommend, if you're interested, go see this and form your own opinion. So with all that being said, I will say that in my opinion, Wolfman was almost dope. I hope Leigh Whannell's next project isn't Universal monster related. I hope he cooks his own fresh idea similar to Upgrade and kicks us another banger. Have you seen Wolfman, man? What you think? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. I recently put up a review for Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, as well as most anticipated of 25, Blu-ray collection update, top favorite movies of 24. Tomorrow, this weekend, right around the corner, my theater did get one of them days. I'm very excited to go see that. I hope it's as funny as the trailers made it look. Next weekend, I might watch Flight Risk. I'm not really sure I want to. Y'all need a pilot. But then the last weekend in January, I'm at the very least watching Dogman. New DreamWorks. It looks ridiculous, but I'm here for it. Rec League Podcast. I think we're gonna do some sort of Universal Monsters discussion. Just depends on how many of my guys see Wolfman before we record. Be on the lookout for all of that, man. Like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.